Welcome to Little John Sharns. I'm Alicia. Today I am doing a 10 questions tag. I was tagged by Debbie of the Canadian Crocheter, and I'm so sorry it's taken me so long to get back to this, but I've been super busy. This whole tag began with Bag a Day Crochet, and I'm going to continue it. So let's hop right into these first 10 questions. Alright, the first question is, what is your favorite color yarn? Well, my favorite color yarn is actually yellow. Now I pick most of my yarn colors based on what my thumbnail will look like when I create a crochet video. I always want a color that pops in. I've always loved yellow. Number 2, what is your favorite weight of yarn? My favorite weight of yarn is the yarn that I grew up on. I love using number 4 worsted weight yarn, but lately I've been venturing off into 5 weight bulky yarn because I love to make those with slippers, and I've been making a whole bunch of slippers. Next question, what is your favorite style of yarn? Well, there's nothing in particular. I'm not very much into like novelty yarns, but I do love the yarns that have a nice luster to it. One of my favorite types is this Mighty Stitch yarn. If you can see, there's like a, look, there's a shadow on it, a luster to the yarn. Sometimes like Caron Simply Soft. I love that. Even though it can kind of be split city, I love the drape of mercerized yarn. That's what it is. All right, what is your favorite fiber of yarn? My favorite fiber of yarn, I really don't have a favorite. I love any yarn. Actually, what always gets me when I go to purchase yarn is the color of the yarn. So it has to be like a very pretty color. Okay, number 5. What is your favorite brand of yarn that you can get easily within your country? My favorite brand of yarn, I guess it's right back to this again. This became the Mighty Stitch yarn. You can get this on crochet.com. I'll leave all those links down below. But I love this yarn because of the luster of the yarn. But previously, before this yarn that I found in February, I loved my blonde girls. I loved Vanna White's, what does she does? Vanna's Choice yarn, and Deborah Norville. She does the everyday yarn, I believe. Those were my 2 favorite, but right now, this one's my favorite. All right, so what is your favorite brand of yarn that isn't easy to get within your country? Well, I live in the United States and yarn is super easy to get. I realize other crafters from outside the US have so much difficulty getting yarn. For us, it's pretty simple. I have like 5 big box yarn stores within a half an hour driving distance from my house. Well, I did have a problem. I did have where'd I put it? The extra skein of yarn. Last year when I needed to do a specific pattern for a pillow, I needed to find this like orange velour type velvet yarn, and it was fall and it was sold out everywhere. This is from, I believe, Hobby Yarn. Yeah, HOBBII.com. It was so hard for me to get this, and it took weeks for it to ship in, but that's the only time I've ever had difficulties finding yarn. All right, number 7. Favorite yarn store online and favorite brick and mortar store. My favorite yarn store online is crochet.com. Though that is a sister company to Knit Picks. They have a whole bunch of affordable yarns on there, so I love to shop there for yarns. A lot of my last tutorials been used by them. I'll leave that link down below. And my favorite store to go into, I love my Joann Fabric store, and I love Hobby Lobby. Those 2 are my favorite ones to go in. It's like walking into a museum, and I just love the way it smells. It has that like artificial flower smell, that potpourri smell. I don't know, I just love that. All right, number 8. Do you keep scrap yarn? If so, what do you do with it? Yes, I keep scrap yarn because I'm a yarn hoarder. What I do with it, I usually take my yarn winder and spin it back up into cakes and put it off just in case I use it again. But I usually never use it again, and it gets into this big huge Walmart tub, and when I dig through it, they get all tangled and turn back into knots. So once a year I go into my scrap yarn bin and re-cake them up and see if I can find new yarns to play with. All right, number 9. What is your favorite thing to crochet? My favorite thing to crochet are hats and slippers. I love the quickness of these patterns. With crochet, everything takes so much time. So for me, this is like the closest we can get to instant gratification in crochet. I know when I start a hat or a slipper, it's going to be done within hours. It's going to be done that day. So that's why I love those. And number 10, if you can crochet one last thing for the rest of your life, what would it be and what yarn would you use? Hats. I would crochet hats for the rest of my life because sometimes I have like bad hair days and I need something like simple to put on my head. So yes, I would make those every day. And plus my family always asks for it. And what yarn? It'd be actually this yarn. Just because I like the way it feels on my hair, like yarn. I don't like the way it dries out my hair. So this is like more of a silky luster. And I just love it and it's soft. So that's pretty much it. So I hope you enjoyed these 10 questions about me. So now I am going to tag the next crocheter for this 10 questions. I would like to tag Black Ribbon Studios to do this 10 question tag. So guys, I'm going to try to reach out to her, but if you see her videos first, make sure you check her out. I'm going to leave her link down in the description box below, and Debbie from the Canadian Crocheter, I'm going to leave her links down below too. Alright guys, thank you so much, and make sure you check out the next tag.